Hi guys, in this video we'll talk about Bitcoin Cash. What is Bitcoin Cash and how does Bitcoin Cash work? A beginner's guide. Bitcoin Cash is a proof of work blockchain network and cryptocurrency that's faster and cheaper to use than Bitcoin. The asset was created via a hard fork of the Bitcoin blockchain network and has since developed its own community. Like its predecessor, Bitcoin Cash is accepted at certain merchants, can be bought on PayPal, and represents another way to transact value. Bitcoin Cash was meant to solve many of Bitcoin's long-standing issues, but such a solution caused a rift in the crypto community. While the two can easily coexist, many argue over which will be the set of the future. The history of Bitcoin Cash. The first Bitcoin block, the Genesis block, was officially mined on January 3rd, 2009. Since then, the set has exploded in popular culture. However, Bitcoin, the world's first cryptocurrency, still suffers from scalability issues and long transaction times. This is where Bitcoin Cash comes into play. The idea of Bitcoin Cash came to be in 2017 as a solution to Bitcoin's transactions speed issues. It's a hard fork of the Bitcoin blockchain, meaning the network split in two at a certain block. Uh, in this case, that block holds a fundamental protocol change that invalidates all previous blocks, requiring nodes to upgrade to the new chain to continue using it. It's essentially an enormous software update through which the previous network goes on in a direction separate from the new one. In this case, that previous network is Bitcoin, while the Bitcoin Cash fork forget its own future. The fork was decided on by various miners and developers within the Bitcoin network who were hoping to get rid of its limitations. After all, many assume Bitcoin is meant to be used for digital transactions as opposed to as a store of value. How can Bitcoin appeal to the mainstream if, say, transactions take minutes or even hours at a time? And that's not to mention high transaction fees. However, those who stood against the hard fork did so for several reasons. For example, Bitcoin Cash has larger blocks, which entails a more complex mining process that could ruin miners without much computer power. In a way, this can centralize the platform among the most prominent miners, those who can afford the most power, like corporations. Then there is the process of forking. Those who held Bitcoin at the time of the fork also received the same amount of Bitcoin Cash. This is a common occurrence with hard forks, but it was an act that some claim was a get rich quick sham. Fighting back against the claim is Bitcoin Cash proponent Roger Ver, an early Bitcoin investor. Ver is a fan of cryptocurrencies among other futuristic concepts. In 2011, his company MemoryDealers.com became one of the first websites to accept Bitcoin as a form of payment, and he has since organized meetups and conferences around the technology. Wire has also invested millions into various crypto projects and is a huge advocate of Bitcoin Cash and its upgrades to Bitcoin's technology. He claims that it's more usable than Bitcoin due to the increased transaction size. Wire is also referred to as Bitcoin Jesus by many crypto enthusiasts. Interestingly, Bitcoin Cash eventually had its own forks, Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin. The former is similar to the original Bitcoin Cash with only a few differences. It reinvests 8% of every block reward into innovating the network, acting as a sort of salary for the open source developers. Bitcoin Cash only receives donations, so in a way, Bitcoin Cash is more developer centric. Bitcoin CVIH, also known as Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, boasts of other differences. The moniker Satoshi Vision is a callback to the original Bitcoin white paper, which didn't call for second layer of chain solutions like the Lightning Network. Bitcoin CV's focus is on ensuring stability by providing even bigger block sizes than Bitcoin Cash, proposing a significant jump to 128 megabytes. However, it was eventually decided that there shouldn't be a cap until billions of transactions are made. At that point, the community can see that strains the network and what doesn't, potentially voting on an eventual cap on block size. Leading the BCV push, Australian scientist uh, Greg Wright, who also claims to be the pseudonymous Satoshi Nakamoto who founded Bitcoin. While some in the cryptocurrency community have questioned its value, the Bitcoin Cash network has achieved several notable milestones. For example, it has hit over 9,000 transactions per second and even fit an alleged 16.4 million transactions in one block in early 2021 on the platform's scaling testnet. How does Bitcoin Cash work? At a technical level, Bitcoin Cash works exactly the same as Bitcoin. Both Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin have a hard cap of 21 million assets, use nodes to validate transactions, and used a PO consensus algorithm. PO means that miners validate transactions utilizing computer power and are rewarded in Bitcoin Cash for their contributions. However, Bitcoin Cash operates faster and has lower transactions fees than its predecessor, thanks to the larger block size. It's much better suited for smaller transactions such as buying a cup of coffee with cryptocurrency. Otherwise, Bitcoin Cash supports smart contracts and apps such as Cash Shuffle and Cash Fusion. Bitcoin Cash holders using certain wallets can enjoy Cash Shuffle, a coin mixing protocol that shuffles your Bitcoin Cash with other holders before a transaction. As a result, your transactions are private and much harder to trace, considering Bitcoin Cash is a public ledger. However, coin mixing isn't always reliable. To start, it requires user to trust a third-party service, which is somewhat ironic considering crypto is meant to be autonomous or pseudonymous. Mixing can cost a fee, which isn't ideal for those who transact often. Multiple uh, jurisdictions have targeted cryptocurrency mixers, claiming that the funds entering such platforms are usually obtained through illegal activities. So, guys, we'll end this interesting video about Bitcoin Cash. Goodbye.